Hey, Nick, ask me what I had for breakfast this morning.
What did you have for breakfast?
Cereal. What about yourself?
I also had cereal for breakfast this morning.
What did you have for breakfast?
I had cinnamon checks.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. Like I picked it up the other day. I was in the cereal aisle, and I was just like,
treat yourself.
Well, I polished off a box of Golden Grams this morning.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I was a latecomer to Golden Grams. I feel like I've missed its heyday.
Yeah? When did you start getting the Golden Grams?
I mean, I want to say maybe college.
Yeah?
But it's pretty solid. I also have a box of IKEA muesli. That's just calling my name.
I don't know about that. IKEA muesli, is that good?
Well, it's big in Europe.
I know muesli is, but IKEA muesli?
Well, I was at their Gefolker market getting a bottle of water and some Ligonberry spread, and they had cereal, and I'm like, I would be remiss if I didn't try their cereal. It's pretty dense, though. It weighs like a metric ton.
So, yeah. Do you have to put each and every muesli together?
I had to build the box,
and
then
first.
Put the cereal in the box.
Right. You have to build the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's right.
Never do that alone. Always have a person with you in order to do it. That's what the instructions say.
Well, dear listener, if you haven't figured it out, this is the greatest podcast about cereal you will ever listen to in your entire life.
Mind you, it's not the cereal that you might be thinking of when you hear the word cereal. We're not going to talk to you about serious issues relating to war and murder. At least not purposely, anyway.
Well, it may come up, but it has to be tied into that cold or hot, delicious breakfast treat.
I'm glad you slid the hot in there, Paul, because I know that you have such a disdain for hot cereal.
Exactly. Well, there are certain moments in your life that you will just never shake it off. You'll never be able to forget such an unhappy moment. And for me, it was the disappointment of apple cinnamon oatmeal in the 80s.
The instant oatmeal, though, right?
Yeah, in the little pouch.
Yeah, see, that's the wrong kind of oatmeal.
That's okay. I mean, I'm back on certain hot cereals, but it's just empirically, it's like if you ever get food poisoning from a certain food. It's not that you hate that food anymore. It's just you have this awful memory of the last time you ate shrimp.
But you weren't like poisoned by that oatmeal, were you?
I would say maybe figuratively.
Mentally, it took away my sense of rhythm. It took away my whimsical good nature.
There's a certain point in your life when you lose that free spiritedness, that not a care in the world type thing, and that may have been that event.
That was your my parents are people moment, was when they bought you apple cinnamon oatmeal.
And on top of that, it was one of those things where, well, you wanted this, so you better eat them all.
Oh, man. That's rough.
It was the box of cigars from Brewster's Millions, man.
It's like that your parents found a carton of cigarettes, and you're like, you're going to smoke them all.
You wanted this variety pack of instant oatmeal? Get on the hot water kettle.
We're going to watch you eat the whole thing this morning. You better eat it all in the next half hour.
Oh, gosh.
So we're going to talk about cereal, and that's because we are passionate about cereal. I think that we're passionate about a few things in life, but I think mostly cereal? Probably mostly cereal, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm passionate about a lot of stuff, but I don't have a frame of reference for a lot of things that I'm passionate about. For example, I am very opinionated about television, but I don't watch most things.
Yeah, that's a problem with you.
But I have tried just about every cereal that I can get my hands on. And I'm very passionate about cereal. I enjoy, I'm going to go out on a limb. I say I enjoy 90% of the cereal that I eat.
Okay.
But I also will not hesitate to have one bowl of cereal. I don't like it. Box goes in the trash. I'm not going to try to plow through this novel to see how it ends.
That's a bold. That's strong, man. That's a strong position to take.
Well, there's a lot of boxes of cereal at the Super Target, and I'm not getting any younger.
So I grew up with cereal and I'm passionate about cereal because I had cereal basically for every meal for a long time. My parents had 3 teenage boys, and at some point they just gave up on cooking for us because how do you keep up with 3 teenage boys in their stomachs and like eating the entire house? We were like termites. We were like locusts moving through the suburban Atlanta. So they just kind of surrendered. They're like, you just eat whenever you want to eat. We're going to provide you with the materials in which you can construct your own meals and just eat whenever you want to, which is why we just ate ramen noodles and beefaroni and cereal, because cereal was so easy to make. And, I was making cereal for myself since I was like 4, 5, 6, maybe, just constructing my own bowls of cereal piece by piece, just like at IKEA.
Now, did your parents buy cereal in bulk? Did they go to like Price Club or something like that?
We didn't really have that until we moved to Georgia. So they didn't really do that until much later, until after I moved out. Actually, was when they started when they discovered the glory of Costco.
So how many boxes of cereal are you guys going through, let's say, in a week?
Oh, we're going through like 3, 4 boxes of cereal a week.
Name brands?
Yeah, Frosted Flakes, Sugar Smacks.
Wow.
Yeah, Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms.
That is impressive. How many and how much milk? Probably 2-3 gallons of milk.
Yeah. Oh man, my parents are still like, they can't get out of the habit of buying gallons of milk, and so like there's no kids in the house, but they're still buying like 3 gallons of milk a week, and they're like, well, all of our milk goes bad. I'm like, stop buying that much milk. You're killing cows.
Get some Parmalat. Stick it in the pantry till the kids come in.
Exactly. When we come back from Thanksgiving, then you can start buying the milk. But until then, don't buy milk.
There was a point in time between when I left, when we had all moved out, all the kids moved out of my parents' house, until my nephew was born. My parents had no milk. No milk whatsoever. So I'd go over there and we'd have, like, they don't drink coffee. I drink coffee. So I'd like make coffee. I'm like, Mom, do we have any milk? No. Do we have a half and half? No. Do we have anything creamy? We have sour cream. Oh my God, this is brutal. And like they'd have milk and it was bad. And now there's milk all the time. With kids comes a lot of milk, man.
It's a lot of milk, man. It's a lot of milk.
So
cows love kids.
Cows love kids. Cows love California, and they love kids.
And they love kids.
Hey, so when did California get the audacity to just start, treading all over Wisconsin for the Dairyland state or the real California dairy?
I think that we've proven that Wisconsin is just not able to market themselves very well, and California has always been great at marketing. So I think that's basically it. That's just like, even though Wisconsin has all these cows, they produce like all the world's cheese. I think it's about 130% of cheese is produced in Wisconsin, right?
So
it's about 130%.
So more cheese than we have. More cheese than we can possibly. Well, have you been to Wisconsin lately? I think their attitude is, we don't want you here anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like that Wisconsin produces so much cheese that they store it in like silos, just like Canada stores maple syrup, and just like surplus. So that they do produce more cheese than we actually have, because they've got, in case there's some kind of cheese crisis, Wisconsin's got us covered.
They're hoping that cheese is the next currency.
Yeah. When the world goes up, like, they're going to have all the brie. They're going to have all the cheddar.
Oh, man. Cheddar's better.
They're going to literally have all the cheddar. You see what I did there? They're going to have all the cheddar. Oh, man.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that was my history with cereal and milk and cheese. Where are we going with this? So why are we talking about this? What compels us so much that we need to talk about cereal?
So Nick and I worked together for a number of years, and when we weren't talking shop, we were talking food. Nick is a fat guy in a skinny body. I am a fat guy in a more fat but less skinny body than I used to be. But deep down inside, Nick and I love to eat. And one thing we definitely agree upon is cold cereals in general as a delicious food. So we started talking about cereal, and the conversations got lively enough that we thought, you know what, we got to put this together. And what's interesting, and we've talked about this with other folks, is, whether you love it or hate it or you are indifferent to it, everyone has some kind of memory or opinion or thought about a specific cereal in general. I mean, there's nobody out there that didn't have a time in their life that was excited about the Kellogg's Variety Pack. I mean, it's something that I think everyone has at one point or another. Everyone is a kid, and every kid has had cereal, and I think people just enjoy it. And now, I mean, it's like a cereal renaissance. There are so many cereals out there. If you think about just the last 30 years of varieties and flavors and brands, I mean, you can have different cereals every week.
It's true.
And I think you'd be okay, because by the time you get through all the normal stuff, the seasonals would come out.
Yeah, I agree with you about the everybody's got a memory about cereal. I mean, cereal is that first meal that you can prepare for yourself. Like, you wake up way before your parents early on Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, watch the cartoons. Mm-hmm. You're not preparing yourself bacon and eggs. You're not preparing yourself a croissant that you can smear jam on. You're putting down the bowl. You're putting the cereal in the bowl. You're putting the cereal on top of, or the milk on top of the cereal. That's that's your first independence, is that you're able to make your own meal at whatever 6 or 7.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think now how kids are eating like Cheerios at such a young age, I just think that it's something that everyone can relate to. Everyone has a favorite cereal. Everybody has a cereal that they hate, and everybody has a cereal that they've never tried. And I think it's something that's universal with a lot of people, and a lot of people have a very strong opinion about it. So my thought is, and Nick agrees, is why don't we crush everybody's opinion and passions by forcing ours upon them via podcast?
It's true. And what's the great thing about our conversations about cereals, that we agree on so many cereals, despite the fact that we disagree on so many different foods. Like, for instance, how often you call the things that I eat so hipster. I would just call them healthy. I like a fine juice or fine kale meal, or I'm repulsed by Applebee's. Like, these kinds of things that we just don't agree on.
What did you have for dinner tonight?
I haven't had dinner yet today, but earlier I had Chago, which was a rice bowl from a celebrity food chef in LA.
I don't even know what you just said, except celebrity food chef.
Yeah, I had an adobo chicken bowl, which was a couple of scoops of rice and vegetables, spicy chili sauce, and a fried egg on top.
I had ribs and julienne potatoes.
That's about right.
It was really good. Yours does sound good. See, that's the other thing too. It's not, I would say, majority of the time, I don't think what Nick is eating is disgusting. It's just, here's my reaction to most of the stuff he talks about with his California lifestyle. It's just too much. Sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah. Sometimes when I talk to you about food that I've eaten, I feel like that you think it's a little too precious. It's too precious that I've eaten.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not real. And the fact that it is real makes it feel less real.
And the fact that, Paul is satisfied with eating just julienne fries and ribs, or just like a burger from, TGI Fridays or something like that, that makes me feel like that you could be getting out in the world. There's so much that the world can offer you that's beyond, apps from Chili's.
Dude, don't knock Chili's, man. They have a skillet where it's basically cheese and taco meat, and you dip chips in it. And again, you'll be thirsty for about 2.5 days afterwards. But it's really good.
But what I'm saying is that a cereal is like that is where we both can meet. That's both where we can have criticism. That's both of us have the same kind of respect for cereal that we might not have for each other's other food worlds. Cereal is where we connect. And
cereal's where it ends too. I mean, we argue about milk sometimes.
Because you still do cow milk, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've moved on to that soy milk and feeling right.
Gross. Now, I will say I finally tried almond milk.
Yeah.
Ugh. is too thin. And it tastes like vanilla creamer.
Vanilla creamer. See, you need to get the unsweetened kind. You need to get the kind that they put the fewer additives in there. You get the unsweetened soy milk.
It's too thin. It's like it's clear. As I pour it, I can see through it. It looks like when you are baking and you have to mix milk and water together. That's soy milk.
But see, here's the benefit of not using cow milk is that my stomach doesn't feel like it's dying all the time.
Now, that is a very good reason, and you have a pass.
Yeah.
I buy name brand cow milk. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that.
You don't buy grocery store brand cow milk?
Not anymore. I actually can taste the difference.
So, what, are you a Mayfield guy?
I am a Mayfield man. That's right.
See, I would be on board with you about the name brand milk, except that Publix milk, just like all Publix brands, are delicious.
I mean, I don't know how they do it. I feel like they must be manufacturing their own food somewhere. They're not using excess capacity from an actual place. It's like they've got a Publix facility down in Florida, and it's like Santa's workshop for generic groceries.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's like something magical. I have not yet been able to find a grocery store that has store brand foods that taste as good as name brand foods.
What's the high-end grocery store in Los Angeles?
Like Bristol Farms. That's like, it's even higher than I would say Whole Foods is.
Oh, so what's like the Publix then?
There isn't one. There's no Publix.
Well, I mean, so like Publix is like still a normal grocery store, but it's like on the better side.
Right.
It's like, I guess it would be sort of like the Macy's of grocery stores, and then Kroger is like the Sears of grocery stores. At least in Georgia it is.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Do they still have like Vons?
Yeah, there's a Vons out here, and that's like, because Vons is better than Safeway, and like Ralph's has got like their Fresh Fare, which is Kroger's got their Fresh Fare line too. They're the same company, but so it's like a step up. It's almost like as good as Publix, but like but it's still Kroger. Like you're still going to Kroger, and you still feel like you're going into a Kroger. You're still buying Kroger brands. It's just that it's got that Fresh Fare label on it, and they've got more fresh foods around. There's not really a West Coast version of Publix, and it's one of the things I miss most about living in the Southeast is Publix. All for one and all for love.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. I think I had that cassette single. Whatever happened to singles? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that anymore.
They should do singles for cereal. I know they sell the variety pack.
No, they have those like cups where you peel the top off.
Oh, that's right. They do have singles.
I like those. And what I like is they've made those available in normal retailers.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really want to try Kellogg's Crave, but I don't want to commit to a whole box. I'm going to buy this single serving over here.
I would like for our podcast to get to a level where cereal companies are sending us singles of their cereal to try out. I'm hoping that we get some screeners of cereal. That would be amazing.
Where it's like pre-release cereals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine if it's July and we're eating pumpkin spice Cheerios?
Blowing people's minds.
I mean, but you can't tell anybody. I mean, are you allowed to tell people?
No, you can't tell anybody. It's embargoed. They got to be embargoed until October rolls around.
That feels like something like, something that Sterling Archer would use as like a brag to pick up women.
Kellogg sends me their new cornflakes every year.
It's a pretty big deal. I'm kind of one of General Mills's seasonal ambassadors.
So when people are listening to our podcast, what are they going to get? They're going to get a little bit of history, a little bit of goofs, a little bit of life advice, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we have been doing some work. We've been doing some discussions. We're touching on a lot more than just cereal. We've touched on the TV thing. Nick's a big TV advocate who's educated in the field. I own a TV and watch stuff, but we will talk about TV. We will talk about shopping experiences. We talk about the manufacturers of cereal. I really enjoy the history part because there's so many cereals out there, and I think people don't realize what it takes to develop some of these, what it takes to market some of these, and the fact that Fruity Pebbles is still on the market is, I mean, that's a miracle of sales
It's a
and
miracle of
marketing.
marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to talk a lot about that. I mean, if there's anyone from the Post Corporation listening right now, we are going to rip into Pebbles, man.
Because Pebbles is objectively a terrible cereal.
Yeah.
Not the worst cereal on the market, but a terrible cereal. And the fact that it's still there using mascots that nobody's seen in like 20 years.
That's incredible right there. The fact that the Flintstones are still used to sell cereal and vitamins to a demographic that doesn't even know what the Flintstones are.
It's incredible.
To the Post company, I say congratulations.
Kudos to you, Post Company. We are going to talk some smack about Pebbles, but kudos to you for keeping that relevant somehow.
Yeah, but what do we know?
Yeah.
They're the ones who are making it happen.
Just like the cap.
It's a lot easier to break down than it is to build up. I feel like there's an actual saying that I messed up somehow.
It's fine.
Nailed it.
Well, yeah. So what else do people need to know?
And of course, we want to know what the people think.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That would be great. It'd be, it's nice for us to talk to each other about cereal, but it'd be even better if we could all talk about cereal, because Paul and I would just be talking about cereal anyway, but it'd be nice if we could all have a conversation about it. We're pretty sure that other people are thinking the same things that we're thinking about cereal.
Yeah, we definitely want to have guests. That's kind of the other thing that, made this such an interesting topic to cover is when you tell people we're going to be talking about cereal, the majority of people are like, oh yeah, I really love Frosted Flakes. I mean, right away you get that instant reaction. And then on top of it, when you find someone who's on the same side as you on a controversial cereal, you keep that friend close by. Any type of scholar, if there's anyone that has a PhD from the General Mills Bell Institute, and would like to join us, oh yeah,
we're into it.
But this is all for positive. I mean, we're not going to sit here and talk about any of the negatives really about cereal. I mean, there really are no negative attributes to cereal. For example, people may say a certain cereal has too much sugar, to which I reply, how is that a problem?
Some people might say that the cereal scratches the roof of their mouths, and they have that weird phobia about the roof of their mouths being scratched up. I say, just let it soak a little bit.
That's just a consequence of an immature eater.
Yeah.
We've all been there. We all fell off a bike once or twice.
You just gotta wait. You gotta wait, man.
You gotta let that cereal prime. The other thing that I will say is I'm more of a cereal purist. I don't really make too many. I don't doctor up the cereal. If it's Rice Krispies, I just eat it straight up. I don't believe in this insane, blatant disregard for food science of mixing cereals together like an animal.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm more of a jazz artist when it comes to cereal, where I mix things up. I put fruit in there. I put all kinds of different kinds of things. Sometimes, here's something that I did with a hot cereal. Put a little cayenne pepper on that.
Was it oatmeal?
It was oatmeal. Yeah, oatmeal.
Oh, so if you were talking like cream of wheat or grits, now we're talking cayenne pepper.
Oatmeal instead of making with milk, make it with water. Water, oatmeal, sriracha, and some green onion. And a fried egg on top. Fried egg is essential.
Why don't you just break down and make grits? That's what you want.
That's not what I want.
But you were insisting on doing oatmeal. Oatmeal with green onions, sriracha, and a fried egg.
And some Parmesan
that's
too. Yeah.
Like hipster Waffle House is what that's called.
That's not hipster Waffle House.
What is that? Like what's a hipster? What would be a good name for a hipster Waffle House?
The awful waffle, something like that, something that rhymes.
No, something like third shift.
Or it would just be what's the Waffle House phrase? Smothered, covered, fried, and something scattered.
Diced, scattered.
Yeah, it would just be those initials, the initials of that phrase put together.
Oh yeah, very good. But it's got to be, or like a one word diced.
Right. Or, yeah, smothered and covered, but with no vowels.
And it's one word with a hashtag in the beginning. But the hashtag is made out of hash brown potatoes.
Or a waffle.
Yes.
I think we just came up with a really good business idea that we need to maybe carry through on.
Okay. We're going to figure that one out.
We might have to stop doing this podcast and just work on our smothered covered hashtag idea.
Is all the butter local?
Of course all the butter is local. Syrup is from nowhere further away than 25 miles.
And the honey, they have a honey... They have a beehive in the back?
Yeah, a beehive in the back. If you want honey, they have to go out there and put on the beekeeper suit and get you the honey.
You know, another thing that I want this podcast to do for everybody is to just dispel the fear that adults have of eating sweet, delicious cereals. I feel like there's a stigma attached to being in your 30s and eating Lucky Charms, and to that I say nay. I was on a trip with a client a couple of years ago, and we had an early morning meeting, so we fly in the night before, and we're in the hotel, and I'm eating breakfast, and they come down, and they look at me because I'm eating Lucky Charms, and I'm like, it's okay, guys. You can have Lucky Charms, too. I won't tell your boss that you had candy for breakfast.
Yeah. I mean...
So there's a big thing about, just eat the cereals that you like. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of being an adult if you can't have dessert whenever you want?
Nailed it.
So, yeah, this is the kind of thing that we're going to be doing every week or every couple of weeks. So we haven't figured that part out yet. Paul, when we edit this, we'll just insert whatever time. I'm going to say every 1 week, every 2 weeks, every month, depending on whatever one. You could just sit in whichever one that we're actually going to do.
And then, we'll have online content to accompany everything. Mm-hmm. And we definitely want feedback. I want all the negative feedback, and Nick will take all the positive feedback.
Yeah.
And together we're going to jumble that together. And the negative feedback is the cereal part, and the positive feedback is the marshmallows. Mm-hmm. And we're going to, just...
My ego is too fragile for me to take any of the negative criticism. So if you could just feed me the positive stuff and give Paul the garbage, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
Nick wants the cold pressed organic juice, mm-hmm. and I want the Capri Sun.
Paul wants the sludge that comes out of the juice machine after you've taken all the juice out. I want the juice. He wants the sludge. Yeah. So listen to our podcast. We're going to just try to entertain you with all of our cereal goofs, I guess.
Our cereality.
Oh boy. It's gonna be a lot of that, folks. It's gonna be a lot of that.
It's gonna be surreal.
Oh boy.
Oh, that is gold. Oh my god.
That's not gold.
Oh my god. It's gold. It's a golden gram of delicious cereality.
That's garbage. It's garbage.
Oh my god.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.